Hello, my name is Rin. Welcome to my bedroom. Moving on from that, I did not know how to start this video. I took like 100 different takes and I still couldn't come up with anything. Um, with the invention of gay pop, made by JoJo Siwa herself, and being popularized by Chapel Rowan, we're starting to see a lot of like music gatekeeping again. I don't know why I did air quotes. That is literally the word. That's literally what's happening. Music gatekeeping. Sort of like how Sabrina Carpenter, up until like her recent album, was still considered by some not a very popular thing, but I still see people talking about her as if she was indie. Like oh, she's so indie or whatever, like not a well-known artist, and it's like, oh, have you heard of this song? Have you heard of that song? And not judging at all, but the question is like, what about indie makes it feel so much better than when it actually becomes popular music? For me personally, that person was Melanie Martinez, um, who, by the way, is currently sitting at 15.2 million Spotify listeners, like, monthly. I just checked. It's just a bit stupid of me to think that I could ever gatekeep an artist like her. Especially because if the music is good, then she would naturally build a larger audience. For some reason, when she first started getting popular, my first thought wasn't like happy that, oh, someone that I enjoy listening to was getting popular. It was more of, oh no, now I have to find someone else less popular than her to listen to. I didn't really like understand it at the time, but I guess there is a little bit of shame to liking something popular, because more and more people are going to have opinions about her. So if you get caught listening to her, then it's like, ew, are you into Melanie Martinez? What are you, like 6? Looking at it in hindsight, it feels so stupid that I would feel judged based solely on that, or let someone else judge me or and dictate what I like. But of course, at the time, it felt really embarrassing. Like, you wouldn't want to be caught dead listening to Melanie Martinez because, oh no, some other person didn't like it. And I guess I don't want to see that happening now with Chapel Rowan, because like she is getting very popular with like the locals, the normies, or whatever. But that doesn't change the meaning of her art. Because, like, no, it gets frustrating sometimes, like, listening to straight people or just overall conventionally attractive people and popular people just listen to the bare bones music and sort of ignore the underlying meaning of it, or even worse, like, redefine it to relate back to them. I know it's nice to feel different and better than your locals or normies or whatever. Like, these people who are conventionally attractive and are essentially accepted into their local society as to a degree where you just never will be. Like, you have eyes. You see me, like, I don't exactly fit into the convention standards, and it's not something that no matter how hard I try to do, I personally will never be able to attain that, because that's just not who I am. um and it gets a little frustrating for sure when you see people from certain communities enjoy music that was catered to a a demographic that you so closely align to, that you so closely identify with, and then instead of appreciating the work or understanding the source of the the pain the pain that led to the art, they sort of just go on their own way and be like, oh, it's a nice sounding song, and then they listen to it without really listening to it. The conventional people who make this specific thing popular are still going to be the first ones to object to it when they see it in reality. And then they continue going about their merry day, but like still putting down the people who made said unconventional music in the first place. But then on the flip side, if you keep trying to stop listening to whatever's popular and finding more out there sources, then eventually it's gonna hit a wall where there's just not much more good music out there. And if there's indie music, then chances are it's been indie and staying indie for a reason. There's sort of this pressure to find like the next indie thing to relate to. And sometimes it kind of means standing some things that are objectively worse than others, because I mean that's how they stay indie, or else if it was like so good it would have made it, you know? And it's just a very hard thing to fall into, because if I keep on enjoying the popular music, then oh, I become basic, or oh, I'm not cultured anymore. And I feel like we forget that basic tastes exists for a reason. Like, the majority of people like sugar. That's not an understatement to say that sweet things taste good. So of course, like, good music would tend to sound the same to the same people experiencing it. Because at the end of the day, like, we're all sort of wired to like similar things, similar tastes. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one day there will be someone who just listens to radio frequencies for fun, and then they'll be different. Like, right now, it feels really hard to hang out with both conventional people. Like, I don't really have a big depth when it comes to music either. And like, the people who like say, oh, the locals have finally discovered it, are just as bad. Because I can be hanging out with one group of people, like the conventionally whatever people, and like it's obvious to not fit in there, because like sometimes your music tastes extend past the point of just the bare minimum basics. But then on the alternative side, it's also hard because everything has to keep staying indie, and then as soon as a name gets big, it's like, oh, you still listen to them? Like, you're so late? This one guy I talked to, right? He shared with me one song. One really, really good song. And I think, like, that artist has, like, 200,000 monthly Spotify listeners, which isn't, like, little, but it's not, like, a lot. So it's, like, semi in between, you know? But then I never got a second song out of him because it's gatekept. Like, the indie music has to stay gatekept. But, like, why? Why can't you just, like, let it be good? Why can't it just be, like, a thing that popular music is popular because of its merits? And why is it a thing that unpopular music is bad and doesn't deserve the merits that popular music gets? Why is it that we have to hide good music, but then stop listening to the good music when the music gets good? Like, the music gets the popularity that good music should get. Moral of the story is, listen to normal things. Normal things are fun. Plain vanilla ice cream is fine. Like, it's okay to like normal things. Okay, toodles.